Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Elizibar. This is going to be a review of Earthbound. This is a graphic novel. It's pretty chunky. There's a lot of stuff here. This was an Indiegogo campaign, and I wasn't going to review this. I was just going to kind of let it go, maybe comment about it in like reads of the week, whenever that happens. And then I saw from one of you, my viewers, a request to actually review it because the request was like, hey, I've seen a lot of art posted. I've seen a lot of this artist's work, but I haven't seen any of his writing. Can you let us know how Narwhal's writing is? Okay, let's do it. Since it's an Indiegogo, I'm gonna look at all the swag that came with this first. You got this cool little ad thing here for Retrographic Books LLC. I think that one's pretty dope looking. That looks like Matt Weldon art. I don't know if it is. I got to check that out later. It wouldn't surprise me though. I mean, come on, like Ultraman or something. Who doesn't want that? I got a business card, which apparently, says I'm a member of the Narwhal Mafia, which is kind of cool. I work for the 13th sponsor. It's a crowd fund. Of course, you got to have like a sticker. There's this kind of baffling card here. I don't understand. We're just gonna check it aside. And then there's this cool print. And out of all the art in this whole book, everything I've read in this piece of art here, which isn't even in the book, is the coolest looking thing in the book, or related to the book, that I've seen. Her pose, the way the gun's rendered there, oh, that looks so cool. The foreground, look at all that greebling. The background's like sketched in. There's like some energy or something there, kind of masking it. And you got this looming figure in the background. Really cool. In fact, if all the art in the book had looked like that over there, the book would be amazing. And I'd be like, you have to go read this right now. Just stop whatever you're doing and go read the book because it's full of this amazing looking stuff. Honestly, this reminds me of Killtopia, when Killtopia is trying real hard to look good. All right. Oh, I should have done a clap warning. Sorry. Earthbound, graphic novel. It's really hard to summarize what's going on here. So we start off with, well, okay. Actually, back up. We start off with this guy, WizKid, crashing on the planet. Then we got this guy who runs the newspaper. He's a dork. Like the school newspaper. That's like the principal or whatever. Who cares? Then we get some aliens who are waking people up. There's some funny stuff there. I don't necessarily know that I can show it, but there's the people they wake up. Spaceman and Julia. I had to make sure I had her name right. I almost called her Jules. And they know each other. They work for the 13th sponsor. Here's some sci-fi alien stuff. They get these cool guns, and they have a mission. And what's their mission? To go recruit 4 sisters who hang out with each other for the 13th sponsor. And if there's a tie, then they can go get WizKid. That's the mission. I'm just going to kind of go from here to not really telling you anything else about the story and just kind of showing a little bit of the art. Then we'll talk about some of the stuff related to the story. Like the author, the artist, I almost called him the drawer, has a good eye for motion and energy and emotion. It's right here. You can capture, look at the emotion captured right there, with so few lines drawn in such a loose, sketchy manner. I really enjoy the color work. It makes me think of, and I've said this before on the new comic book day stream, or I think it's where I unboxed this, was on that stream. I said it there, I'll say it here. It makes me think of Out of This World. If you've never played that game, I played it on the Super Nintendo. It's an absolutely fantastic game. It did polygons in a world of sprites, I think they even had to include like a chip in that thing to make sure that the game would actually run at acceptable levels of performance. Absolutely fantastic thing, by the way. Fantastic. So the winner of that little competition gets their freedom. And things start going crazy from there. We got people laying low, checking other people out. We got deals getting made. We got people getting shot with those cool rifles. I remember this stuff from the not the recruiting, the ad, right? The promo materials. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to whack the camera. No, camera! Why you betray me? I really got to get a better camera set up so that my camera is not like literally hovering, you know, what is that? That's not even 9 inches. That's like 7 inches above the book. Like, I need a better setup here. But this is what I got to work with. Sorry about that. But this whole torturing somebody with a Black Widow, like, this was all in the promo materials on the Indiegogo. And I think, was it to me or someone else? I don't remember. I think I made a comment somewhere. It might have been on in the chat on the live stream or something. Like, oh man, this is crazy. What's with the Black Widow? And he's like, don't worry, the entire book is not just girls torturing each other with spiders. And I was like, that's a good thing. That's also kind of a bad thing because that would certainly be a very distinct kind of comic book if you just had a book where people tortured each other with spiders. Like, uh, I'm not sure I'd want to read that, but it would at least have the virtue of being relatively unique. You know what I'm saying? You know exactly what I'm saying. It's pretty intense stuff, and this author has an absolutely fantastic sense of motion. Like I've said that before, I'll say it again. Look at this. Yeah, sure, the characters are maybe not drawn in a lot of detail. They're the dude goes way off model sometimes, off the character sheet. People can be drawn way lumpier in one place than they are in another, or they kind of take on like a super deformed aspect, like a 80s anime that's really being silly. But this is a ton of fun. The distortion, the speed, it's all apparent just from looking at this one panel. I'm trying to think, is there another really great example of that I can show you without spoiling too much of the book? Hmm. Oh yeah, this sequence. I don't think this really spoils much plot because it's just literally a dude running. But look at that sense of motion. The crazy foreshortening on the leg right here. It almost looks like it's got like a fisheye lens or something, like that distortion in the perspective. It's gorgeous. It's fluid. It looks like he is literally going to slide off this page and puddle into ink on my desk. And if I was really good with Adobe After Effects or something, I would make that happen and didn't have like this gooey puddle of that character down here. So the art is weird. I'm gonna go back and kind of show some stuff I don't like about the art since I was showing stuff that I did like. So like this character here, he looks so very different from panel to panel. Like either he's got the world's biggest overbite or something. Like his head doesn't make any sense. Sometimes the art is too sketchy, like this. Like this is just noodling around. This is a rough. This isn't a final panel. Now, it's a completely unimportant panel in the story, so you don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but this isn't finished. This is not finished. And there's a few places in this book because okay, look right up here. Look how detailed his face is. Like that's still not super detailed, but it sure beats whatever this is. Now you're thinking Elizibar. You go look at Scrimshaw, and Dave Mims does a face like that, and you go, "That's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." Okay, fine, you got me. I really like the way Dave Mims just kind of scribbles all over a page, and suddenly it turns into people. That's not as detailed as his crazy scrabbles. Story wise, um, it's fast. The story moves about as fast as those fluid characters do. It just whizzes by. It goes boom. I read this. It took probably about a half hour to read. It took me probably about a half hour to read, and it went by like that instantly. I didn't know it had been more than like 5 minutes. I read it and I got done, and I was like, oh man, that went by quick. Then I looked at my clock and I'm like, I lost time. So either I read this book super fast and got super absorbed into it, or I was abducted by aliens. Your call. The cover's really nice. I like the way their faces look there. I wish the interior art all had this caliber of line work, of line structure to it. It doesn't, sadly. The dialogue mostly feels right. There's some aliens that are kind of funny early in the book. There's a lot of unexplained shenanigans, a lot of unexplained drama between characters. Uh, just the whole universe. Like nowhere in the book do we stop and are told like this is the universe. The book just drops like contextual clues, like yo, there's the 13th sponsor, and then there's like someone else mentions the 12th sponsor, and so we're naturally like building the world. If you want to think about like a comparison, God, I can't believe I'm comparing this to John Wick because this is nothing like John Wick. But it's like in the storytelling in John Wick. First movie sets up this world, and you learn it as John is getting back into it. The second movie adds another element, the whole like markers and that kind of stuff, and lets you know that this world is more than just like hired assassins who have this hotel. It tells you, hey, there's like the table and all these people and da 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 da. And then the third movie shows you that it's like a feudal society and stuff like that. So this book, it just drops you little bits of context here and there, and it's fantastic. I can't quote any of the dialogue because none of it is memorable. Not a single word of it. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all that not a single word of the dialogue in this book is memorable. I'm suddenly thinking. There's one bit that I just found really funny, and it's actually that promo material stuff, just because of what they refer to this one group of the girls in the high school as the Slumber Party Squad. That's maybe the only memorable thing that I pulled out of this whole book was the Slumber Party Squad, because that's kind of funny. Like, honestly, as a name for like a little clique goes, that's kind of funny. So I really enjoyed Earthbound. I thought it was a fantastic, fun, actiony read. Even when it's not being actiony and people are like scheming or whatever, the wheels are turning. There's always something happening, and even static panels look like fun for the most part. There's a couple lemon panels like that one I showed where the principal dude was just kind of squiggled in at random, but boy, it was a good read. Just don't go into it expecting fantastic, amazing dialogue. If you do that, you are going to be very, very disappointed in it. All right, let me just kind of put the book back out here. We'll shift this over so you can look at those cool, well rendered faces. Let's put the little print that I liked a lot right here. Let's just kind of slide this little card mabob right there. I don't even know what that is. We'll cover this dude up with the Narwhal Mafia because he's not the cool part of that print. Let's slip this little ad thing right here on the side so you can get this little bit of Ultraman, and then we'll just kind of go BAM with the sticker. All right, you all take care of yourselves. You have a great day. This was pretty cool. I don't know if you can buy these through a store or anything like that, but you probably should go check this dude out on Twitter or something. Maybe go to his Indiegogo campaign. You can still find it because Indiegogo still lists old campaigns. And be like, yo, Earthbound. And check this out. I'm looking here on the back for like a website. It just says limited edition soft copies, $20. Narwhal Mafia. Looks like there's not like a website in here that I can just refer you to. So maybe you can Google for Narwhal Books Limited, and that might get you somewhere. Take it easy, and bye bye.